The life of the departed is etched in the memories of the living. When a great man passes, the light he leaves behind illuminates the path for those who follow. Such was the case for Nigeria's former Minister of Science and Technology, Dr. Christopher Onu, who was laid to rest in his hometown of Uburu, Ebonyi State. Born on December 1, 1951, Dr. Onu's journey to his final resting place began on November 5th, with a night of tributes held in his honor at the prestigious Yaradua Center in Abuja.
Sing unto God and high affections raise to crown His conquest with unmeasured praise, with unmeasured praise.
Sing unto God and high affections raise to crown this conquest with unmeasured praise, with unmeasured praise.
Sing unto God and high affections raise to crown this conquest with unmeasured praise, with unmeasured praise, unmeasured praise, with unmeasured praise, to sing unto God and high affections raise to crown this conquest with unmeasured praise, this conquest with unmeasured praise. Sing unto God, sing unto God, high affections raise, and high affections raise, and high affections raise, to crown this conquest, to crown this conquest with unmeasured praise, to crown this conquest with unmeasured praise, to crown this conquest with unmeasured praise. Sing unto God, and high affections raise, and high affections raise, to crown this conquest with unmeasured praise, with unmeasured praise, to crown this conquest with
The event was attended by prominent politicians, serving and former governors, ministers, and including former President Goodluck Jonathan. Known for his humility and peaceful disposition, Dr. Onu's character and contributions were celebrated as tributes flowed from those in attendance.
In our old block, in our old Afipo block of Ebonyi State, it was Dr. Francis Akanebiam who lit the candle. Dr. Ajamwachuku received the light, and Dr. Ogbonnaya Onu spread the light. It was from Dr. Onu that my humble self and many others in my generation contacted the light. This light is the light of uprightness, diligence, determination, and dedication. Dr. Onu was an accomplished engineer, an erudite scholar, a political icon, an uncompromising Democrat, and above all, a foremost patriot.
I would like to thank all of you for being here today to honor my father, Dr. Ogbonnaya Onu. My father, as you all very much know, was a very punctual man. So allow me to apologize for his family being late today. I hope you will forgive us and understand that it was because of love. My mother, Chinyere Onu, was heartbroken and it was very difficult to get her to come here today, because as she sat there, it all sank in that the man she has loved for 40, 50 years has left us. And so me and my brother found her standing in front of in her room. Keep this brief. My father was born in Ubru on December 1st, 1951, to the family of His Royal Highness, the late Eze David Onu, Eze Adu of Ubru, in the Hozara local government area of Ebonyi State. My father, I could go through and read his accomplishments in school, but given the time constraints, I would just say he did very well. He studied very hard, and he got very good grades, and eventually went to school in the United States of America at the University of California, Berkeley. He was the president of the Nigeria Association of Northern California, Inc., a student leader, and he achieved a lot, and that was his beginning of his life in politics. After that, he returned to Nigeria and taught at the University of Port Harcourt in Rivers State. He became the head of the Department of Chemical Engineering, which he created from scratch. He then resigned that appointment to run for the governor of Imo. And when Imo was split, he ran for the governor of Abia State, a position he held and won in 1991. His colleagues and fellow governors saw something in him and chose to elect him as the first Nigerian to be the chairman of the Nigerian elected governors. As governor, he mobilized the people of Abia State for sustainable development and security of citizens. He also vigorously pursued infrastructure development. I forgot to mention that when he was in Port Harcourt, and this was important to him, so I want to mention it, he was the president of the Rotary Club. In 1999, he emerged as the first presidential flag bearer of the then All People's Party, which later became the All Nigerians People Party. That was the first time he showed true self-sacrifice, as he chose not to participate in the general election because the two parties became an alliance, and that's what a sacrifice he did for the better good. I will skip ahead, and I will say that he was instrumental in creating, I guess him along with Buhari and others were instrumented in creating I guess I lost it. Where is it? Apologize. Where is it? The new political party. And then he became the Minister of Science, a position he held twice. And later on, he tried one more time to be president of Nigeria, a position he truly wanted and unfortunately never got. But I believe my father was more than his politics and more than his schooling. And that's why I guess did not read this very closely, because to me, he was a man who showed that it is better to put others ahead of yourself. He showed that it is better to have a dream and to believe of a better future, not for himself, but for other people. My one hope is that there is one person in Nigeria today who he has inspired to pick up that mantle. One person who will rise and put this great country in front of himself and make all of us better people. So as we sit here today, I wish we all remember a man who gave everything he could to help other people, who sacrificed, and believe me, he sacrificed his own family to help others because he believed in the future of Nigeria. So as we are here and as we remember him, I would like for us to also remember and think of that hope of a better Nigeria. Thank you.
My dad was a very good man. He was very humble, was very selfless. He loved everyone regardless of character. He sees people beyond what they are. And growing up with my dad was the best thing that ever happened to me as a person. I was lucky, among my siblings to be the one. I lived with him till the day he left the world. He loved Nigeria like more than his own family. And he would tell us that he has so many plans for Nigeria. He doesn't sleep. He would stay awake, studying so much to give to Nigeria. So, but he is well. Life didn't give us the chance to, for him to get to where he has always dreamt of getting to. But one thing his family is holding on to is he made a good name for us, a very good name. And we promise to keep that name going. And thank you. So I promise to our dad we continue from where he left from. Thank you very much.
In 2015, when he was appointed the minister of the Ministry of Science, Technology, and Innovation, he was the sole person administering the ministry. So in 2019, however, there was a slight change. The then President Muhammadu Buhari, in his own wisdom, appointed me as a Minister of State to serve with Dr. Ogbonnaya Onu. Expectedly, it was a bit tensed between me and him. And to make matters more cumbersome, I'm a lawyer. I have no science background at all. So I'm going to work with someone who is completely a scientist. I recall vividly one day when we had a very stormy meeting of management. This event goes to demonstrate how humble and how genuinely empathic he is. So there was a slight argument between me and him before management over a certain issue. When it became so tense, the permanent secretary advised myself, Dr. Ogbonnaya Onu, and myself to retreat to the office. So inside the office, to my astonishment, he hugged me and said, "Look, gentlemen, I do not mean what you say. These are the issues I have." I realized that I actually was the one who misunderstood him. And he explained in very clear terms why he felt so strongly about those issues we're arguing about. So that shows how very humble he is. And instantly he now called the permanent secretary and said, "Look, go and do what the Minister of State wants." It shows understanding, it shows compassion, it shows a deep sense of humility from Dr. Ogbonnaya Onu. Now, we always remember him for his passion for innovation and science in Nigeria. That is why today we call him the father of science, Technology and Innovation. You all recall that the federal government Order 5 on local content was vigorously pursued by the Ogbonnaya Onu to demonstrate that whatever we do as a country in Nigeria, we must ensure that it reflects local content in terms of engineering, architectural, and scientific designs for the country. So he's someone who stood and fought for science and technology in Nigeria. He's someone who has, dedicated his entire life towards ensuring that Nigeria competes favorably with other countries in terms of STI. Now, one last funny thing that we did with Dr. Ogbonnaya Onu was when we want to rename the Ministry of Science and Technology to Ministry of Science, Technology and Innovation. Luckily, the former SGF is here. Then there is the Ministry of Communications and Innovation and Digital Innovation. There was a heated argument as to why our ministry should use the word innovation. And of course, the Minister of Communications then, Professor Fantemi, struggled to oppose the introduction of innovation under the Ministry of Science, Technology and Innovation. That was the first time I saw Dr. Ogbonnaya Onu becoming so passionate, so excited, angrily trying to demonstrate to the council that, look, innovation is part of science and technology, and no nation can move forward without science, technology, and innovation. And of course, the rest is history. I thank you so much for listening. We wish the family the fortitude and to bear this great loss. Thank you so much.
Former President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Dr. Ebele Jonathan, the National Chairman of the All Progressives Congress, Your Excellencies here present, good evening, everyone. Well, I came in to attend this event as a very close friend of Dr. Onu, but I've ended up also being asked to represent our class of 92. And we have one of us here, Dr. Okweseleze Nwodo. We were 30 at that time because we had 30 states, but we have lost about 16 with Dr. Ogbonnaya Onu, 16 gone. So we are just 14 left. And most of our colleagues are ailing, and that is why they are unable to be here. In fact, this morning I spoke with His Excellency Rufus Ada George. He's in Port Harcourt, but he said he was heading to the doctor's office. So you please accept my apologies, the apologies from me. My dear friend Ogbonnaya Onu was a very well-organized person, and I didn't think I should just come here and say things and go away. So I had to prepare. He wasn't a casual person at all. In fact, when he launched his book on his stewardship in Abia, I was a reviewer. And when he launched the one from opposition to ruling party, I was the presenter in 2015. So permit me to just put whatever I say here applies, is exactly what my other colleagues think about him. In fact, they would say I concur. So let me start by saying that it's with a heavy heart and profound sadness that I stand to honor the life and legacy of my dear friend, brother, and fellow servant of the people, His Excellency Dr. Ogbonnaya Onu. Words, feel are insufficient to capture the essence of a man whose life was a testament to the highest ideals of integrity, service, and friendship. Yet, in this moment of reflection, we can only strive to honor him by remembering the man he was and the legacy he leaves behind. Dr. Onu and I first crossed paths in 1991 when we both emerged as governors-elect of our respective states, an encounter that initiated a friendship spanning 33 years. This bond was built not only on shared personal admiration and a commitment to principled governance. From the onset, it was evident that Dr. Onu was a man whose entire life was dedicated to service. Service to God, the nation, and humanity at large. His quiet dignity, which no one can deny, profound intellect, and capacity to articulate complex ideas with both clarity and humility left an indelible impression upon me, setting the foundation for a friendship that transcended professional boundaries. We journeyed side by side through our days in office, sharing ideas and strategies, acting as each other's sounding boards, and counseling one another on the path forward. In fact, on August 15, 1992, when I was received by my community in Pani, Cross River State, Dr. Onu was there, and he came with what we used to call the Wafia war dance, Bend the war dance. He brought that troop to there, and ever since he brought that group, I've been so much, in love with them that each time I have an occasion, that group is always around, and that is the person we remember for that. Our friendship was not merely professional, it was deeply personal. When our time as governors was cut short in late 1993, Ogbonnaya Onu was the first to reach out, not with bitterness, but with vision seeking solutions and charting the way forward for our people and our country. Throughout his public career, Dr. Onu consistently exemplified the philosophy of perseverance and hope, encapsulated in his oft-repeated maxim, whatever the adversity, we are well able to overcome. This principle, cultivated during his early years in student leadership and sustained throughout his tenure as a statesman, underscored his lifelong approach to governance and public service. Whether serving as lecturer, as governor of Abia State, as chairman of the defunct All Nigeria People's Party, or as Nigeria's Minister of Science, Technology, and Innovation, Dr. Onu demonstrated a steadfast belief that challenges, no matter how formidable, are merely opportunities for progress when addressed with purpose and resolve. As a scholar statesman, Dr. Onu's intellectual contributions were formidable. His works, such as The Greatness of Nations, Technology in Building, and A Footprint, Memoirs of a Chief Servant, to name just a few, reflect not only his comprehensive understanding of governance, but also his enduring commitment to the advancement of knowledge and technological innovation as cornerstones of national development. The Chinese have this saying that the faintest ink is better than the sharpest memory. And when you see someone documenting everything he does, you can understand what we are doing here. The number of books he has written, the faintest ink is better than the sharpest memory, indeed. Dr. Onu's life was equally defined by his conscious engagement with providence. He approached every opportunity, challenge, and responsibility with spiritual awareness, recognizing the role of divine grace in shaping human affairs. In our personal conversations, particularly during my final visit to him, he reflected on his physical ailments with remarkable equanimity, remarking that it was the first time in his life he had ever been hospitalized. Those words linger with me still, a poignant reminder of the fleeting nature of life. In all his years of boundless energy, a single moment brought everything to a halt, reminding us that our pursuits must always be tempered by the reality of our mortality. And among the many qualities that distinguish Dr. Onu, his character remains perhaps the most noteworthy. He was a man of impeccable integrity, embodying the highest ideals of public service. In a political landscape often marred by duplicity and opportunism, Dr. Onu stood as a paragon of consistency and ethical leadership. His commitment to justice, fairness, and accountability was unwavering. He drew a clear distinction between public office and personal gain. And now, if I may add, between public funds and his private purse, maintaining an unblemished record throughout his political career. As one of the founding members of the All Nigeria People's Party, ANPP, He held firm to his beliefs, never wavering in his commitment to good governance. Even as parties merged and landscapes shifted, he remained loyal to his ideals from its inception in 1998 until the party's eventual merger into the All Progressives Congress in 2013. He never shifted grounds. His life was a lesson in consistency. No matter the challenge, Ogbonnaya Onu stood firm on what was right. In reflecting on his life, I am reminded of the words of Romans chapter 12, verse 10. Love one another with brotherly affection. Outdo one another in showing honor. This scriptural injunction aptly captures the essence of our friendship, one built on mutual respect, unwavering loyalty, and shared values. Dr. Onu exemplified this love and honor in both his personal relationships and public service, leaving behind a legacy that will stand as a moral compass for future leaders. In concluding, though we mourn his passing, we celebrate a life well lived and a legacy that will stand the test of time. Farewell, my brother. Farewell, our brother. Your light has not gone out. It has only moved on to shine brighter in the presence of the one who called you home. Rest well, my brother. Your light endures. May God, in his infinite mercy, grant Dr. Ogbonnaya Onu eternal rest.
It's a bit difficult to describe my relationship with Dr. Onu. Most people didn't know we had one, including his family, because he makes his call like President Babangida will make his call. You are sure to get a call from President Babangida. That's the same way he always will make a call to me. And our friendship started when he called me one day and said, we need to work together. And I said, I'm very willing to work with you. And we met in your house, he and I. Subsequently, we've had a series of meetings on how to work together. And I realized that there are very few Nigerians like Dr. Onu. When he was a lecturer at the University of Port Harcourt, I was a student. I was. In fact, I was at the University of Port Harcourt I left University of Port Harcourt in 1987. So I got into University of Port Harcourt in 1983, and he was a lecturer at the University of Port Harcourt already in the chemical engineering department. He was even a dean of the Faculty of Engineering. Graduated and ran. I didn't play APP politics. I've always played majority party politics. Or party in government, put it that way. Because it's difficult to define what majority is. So party in government. And when it was time to form a proper opposition party, I ran into him again. As chairman of Nigerian Governors Forum, he and I spoke. We had a series of meetings and conversation. There are very few Nigerians. If we are 260 million Nigerians, they are not up to 10 million Nigerians. The rest 250 are not Nigerians. They are either Igbos, or Yorubas, or Hausas, or Fulanis, or Ikweres. Their husband is a Nigerian. You will see all of them in one position or the other, wearing one gown or the other. Your husband is a Nigerian. That was the principle by which I decided to work with him, because the solution we were looking for is the solution of making sure that Nigeria as a country moved forward. Unfortunately, he did not achieve that before his death, but our conversations have not gone away from me. We would ensure that by God's grace, his dream Nigeria will come to pass. The problem is not Dr. Ogbonnaya Onu again, it's you, the children. I hope you know. His shoes are big. You really need to fill those shoes. His integrity, I don't want to say it here so I don't cause controversy. You can ask any member of the committee, they will tell you the integrity of your father. There are things we realize in the committee. And one of our friends said, are you sure there are Nigerians like this? I said, yes. There are so many Nigerians like Ogbonnaya Onu, but they're not up to 10 million. Those ones are below 10 million. The 10 million Nigerians, less than 10 million Nigerians who have that integrity. Your father is a good Catholic. The two of us were promoted in the night of St. John together as noble knights. And he believes in God. May his soul rest in peace.
should buffet, though trials should come, let this blessed assurance control that Christ has regarded my helpless state and has shed His some blood for my soul.
It is well.
It is well
With my soul.
with my soul. It is well. It is well with my soul. Onward, Christian soldiers, marching us to war. With the cross of Jesus going on before, Christ the royal master leads against the foe. Forward into battle, see His banners glow. Onward, Christian soldiers, marching us to war. With the cross of Jesus going on before, at the sign of triumph, Satan's host not flee. On the Christian soldiers unto victory. Hell's foundations quiver at the shout of praise. Brothers, lift your voices, loud your anthems raise. Onward, Christian soldiers, marching us to war. With the cross of Jesus going on before, it is well with my soul.
Dr. Ogbonnaya Onu, as we all know, was a good child of God who spent most of his time working for God through service to humanity. And we believe that at present, he is in heaven resting with his Creator. Thank you for coming. May God bless Nigeria.
May I, on behalf of the Governor of Abia State, His Excellency Dr. Alex Oti, convey his heartfelt condolences to the family and to assure the family and Nigerians that Abia State indeed recognize and appreciate the foundation he laid in the governance of Abia State. His Excellency Dr. Alex Oti is determined to sustain the intellectual bedrock in governance. They share a lot in common. They passed through University of Port Harcourt, both made first-class University of Lagos, and his dream and vision, like was captured in 1992, the making of a red breed. Abia State is on a trajectory of also sustaining the legacy of red breed. May his soul rest in perfect fear. Thank you, sir.
We are not just brothers because we came from Uburu, the same community. But he's also a blood brother to me, and coincidentally, a blood brother to my wife also. And Dr. Onu was a great trailblazer. And like Senator him said, a shining light, especially to our generation from the entire Ebonyi South. He was not just a mentor to me, he was a kinsman whose positive marks inspired great leadership motivations to his people, Uburu. He was a man so loved by the entire Uburu community. I'm not sure that we've had any other illustrious son that our people so much loved and cherished like Dr. Ogbonnaya Onu. He was a man of great character and content. He was charming in character and charismatic in leadership. While alive, he marked a threshold in intellect, integrity, industry, and passion for excellence in all his endeavors. He was a great illustrious son of Uburu community who made an immeasurable impact in nation building and service to humanity. Though he departed at a time of leadership and service to humanity, we shall forever cherish the values he bequeathed and the gains of the service he renders as pioneer elected governor of Abia State, former national chairman of the All People's Party, APP, first presidential flag bearer of APP, as former Honorable Minister of Science and Technology, and a host of other services he rendered to his community and the nation. Let me also appreciate him as one of the people that toiled and made all the sacrifices to merge and bring us the leading light in our political dispensation, the All Progressive Congress. Our consolation and fortitude are in the assurances that he lived the true purpose of life, which is service to God and humanity. My deepest condolences go to his wife, children, the entire family of His Excellency, late David Abono, Ezeaduwan of Uburu, the government and people of Ebonyi State. We ask and pray God to grant him fair judgment, and may he rest in the bosom of the Lord. Let me also say that the political growth we have in our town, the light we have in our town, it was the foundation of such. When I was governor from Uburu, and the issue of who was going to be the minister from Ebonyi State came, and people will oppose that, no, you can't have governor and minister from the same place. His Excellency, the president, then chose him based on his character and content. And it was very rare to have in a community like Uburu, a governor and a minister, coming from the same community. And at the same time, you have from a community, one single community, two governors coming from that community. So he was indeed a shining light, and he prepared the way for us to thrive. May his soul rest in peace.
May I, on behalf of the Ministry of Innovation, Science and Technology, all the departments and agencies of my ministry, extend our deepest condolences to the family of His Excellency Dr. Ogbonnaya Onu. Dr. Onu's death was a national shock, and especially to those of us in the innovation, science, and technology ecosystem. The most striking legacy he left for us, among so many, including the policies he enunciated while alive in the science and tech, is the Presidential Executive Order number 5, which focuses on promoting Nigerian content in innovation, engineering, and technology. He was a very, very tireless leader, and for us that didn't meet him in good time in politics, we saw him as a very great gentleman, a leader of note, and I will lay my condolences to the family of Ogbonnaya Onu And while he was in the hospital, I was one of the few people that the president sent on regular basis to come and check on him with Professor Pate of Federal Ministry of the Minister of Health. So I will say, may his soul rest in perfect peace.
I call this a night of questions. Questions in the sense that the virtues that we describe here today of this man that we love so much, that almost sounds like cliches. What are we doing about sustaining them? We talk about integrity and it sounds like you just pick it from the shop. He invested in that. And what is integrity? It's the ability to do the right things even when nobody is watching. Is it in abundance today? Or is it a scarce commodity? A night of questions. We talk about hard work. When even leaders are instrumental to making sure they push their children from one level to the other without them going through the pain of winning success. It sounds like a cliche, hard work. We talk about selflessness. And it sounds so common, but how many of us in this room and outside this room are selfless? Putting others first before you. We talk about humility. Like Jesus who asked the disciples, who do men say that I am? Night of questions for me. And who do you say that I am? You find out that I would have preferred that he was sitting down here and hearing the description of who he is and what he represents. They sound beautiful, but they are not borrowed. They are real. We experience it. 33 years ago, he was governor of my state. I was there. We hosted Madame. She must have forgotten. Total Health Organization, my elder brother, hosted you, the famous Chinyere Onu then. You represented your husband some donkey years ago. There is no description that we mentioned today that was not intact as far back at then. Consistency, we talk about it. Leaders, how consistent are we? In this room are multiple leaders, leading businesses, leading politics, leading in every aspect of life. Permit me, MC, to raise this question as we go. While we celebrate this man that we love too much, what did he leave behind? The spirit of integrity. How many have embraced it? Who is willing to embrace it? The son stood here and he said, the desire of my father is to have people like him who will love Nigeria, who will show integrity. And that has raised this question. And we must answer this question to ourselves if we love him. I saw a man who was willing to give from his scarce resources. I was running for an office without no direct contact with him, and a whole lot of us, from his little income, he sent each of us money and said, we are supporting you as the new generation of leaders. I got mine. He wasn't the richest, but he had a heart filled with patriotism that he wanted to pass the baton to the new generation of leaders, not only in words, but in act. That is the man we are discussing today. How many have you done? In a time when leaders are afraid of the new ones who are coming up, this man was confident in his skin, and he was saying, I am supporting you to take over the baton. That is who we are talking about. You know, it's usual and it's traditional. We come to an event like this, we read it as it is. We make it sound so beautiful, and we go home without taking anything back home. What would Governor Ogbonnaya Onu have you and I do? That should be the question. Night of questions. He will want to see a replica of what he believes in. in us. I was inspired into leadership when I saw how he led Abia State. The only governor that has no scandal. Nobody dragged his name around. I'm from Abia State, for some of you who know. I was inspired as a young man. Do you know when I was running for deputy speaker, he was not well. He invited me to sit with him. And he said, even though I'm not strong, mommy was there, even though I'm not strong, I'm going to talk to those who are contesting against you that you are the right person to go. Did he do that? Yes, he did. That's the kind of leader we are talking about. The spirit of a man that is full of peace. Just look at how calm this atmosphere is. It's a reflection of his spirit. He resolved dispute without making noise. He was more calm about his approach to solving problems. I like it when Governor Amechi said, he invited me, I want to work with you. What a humility. To have authority and have humility is not easy. In a time when people who have power want to show you how powerful they are. Oh, what are you taking home? A night of questions. You are powerful, right? Where is the element of humility in it? Humility is not the way you walk. It's not the way you want people to see you as humble. It's in action. The ability to sit with your juniors and encourage them to become superiors tomorrow. That is humility. And that was what he represented. I can go on and on, MC. But remember, among all the people that have spoken here, I am the next generation. We belong to the next generation. And you should care for our generation. Men like this that inspire us should remain forever in our eyes. They did not inspire us by the wealth of their pocket, but they inspired us with the wealth of their character. They did not inspire us because they held authority. They inspire us because they were humble in authority. I leave this question with you. What virtue will you leave behind if we are to describe you both today and when you are gone? May the Lord grant you the fortitude, the family, to bear these laws. It is irreplaceable. But be consoled in the fact that your father has inspired people like Benjamin Okezekalo and many others to work diligently in the path that he believed is the best for this country. Was he a lover of Nigeria? The answer is yes. Do we love Nigeria? The answer is yes. May his soul rest in perfect peace.
It was a great sense of honor and a heart filled with grief that I stand before you all this night on behalf of our great party, the All Progressive Congress, APC, to deliver this tribute to a respected politician and a kind-hearted man, the late Chief Dr. Ogbonnaya Onu. Permit me the honor to convey the feeling of loss of the unfortunate demise of this great man, whom I had the privilege of meeting on numerous occasions in our collective efforts to deepen democratic echoes, enshrine the rule of law, and proffer solutions to a litany of political and socio-economic problems in Nigeria. On every occasion, the late Chief Dr. Ogbonnaya Onu's impressive personality and charisma always resonated with me. I'm not unmindful of the significant emotional trauma this unfortunate incident must have had on his immediate family members, friends, political associates, and the good people of Ebonyi State, the Southeast, and Nigeria in general. Even in this trying time, I urge the immediate family of the deceased and everyone here to draw solace and fortitude from the knowledge that in the most difficult of circumstances, God is always near and will never forsake his chosen ones. He was a man of many strengths, with intimidating academic credentials, first-class graduate of chemical engineering, from the University of Lagos. He was a pioneer staff in the Faculty of Engineering and the first head of the Department of Chemical Engineering, University of Port Harcourt. Dr. Onu was the first civilian governor of Abia State. He was also the first chairman of the Conference of Nigerian Elected Governors. As governor of Old Abia State, he leveraged technology to fast-track the development of the state with the establishment of Abia State Technology Village, College of Technical Education, Orochukwu, Abia State Polytechnic, Aba, and he attracted the University of Agriculture, Umodike, from the federal government. All these are as testimony to his unwavering love for education, especially science and technology. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, as the national chairman of the All Nigerian People's Party, ANPP, Dr. Onu played a significant role in the merger process culminating in the All Progressive Congress APC formation. His exemplary qualities and credentials led to his appointment as the Minister of Science and Technology. Dr. Onu left when his intellectual leadership prowess were most needed. He was a seasoned engineer and scholar who distinguished himself in his professional and political career. He will be remembered for his contributions to the sustenance of democracy and adherence to the rule of law in Nigeria. It is my most sincere prayer that the Almighty God, in His infinite mercy, will grant his family members, friends, and relatives the resolute spirit to bear this unfortunate loss, even as we pray for the repose of the soul of Dr. Onu, a rare gem and democrat par excellence. May he find eternal rest in the bosom of the Lord. Amen. Thank you, and God bless.
Our brother, Sir Dr. Christopher Ogbonnaya Onu, commander of the Order of the Niger, was a man that worth celebrating. Of course, in our tradition, whenever somebody dies, there must be celebration. But when you go for the burial of some people, you start thinking about what to say about the person. You create something, because you cannot go for a burial ceremony and talk negative things about the dead. But Dr. Onu is somebody that all what we're saying today is exactly who the person is. You hardly get such character. When Amici spoke, was talking about 10 million Nigerians that may be like him. We don't have up to that number. I've been a governor of my state. I've been a president of this country. We don't have, even if we have just 1 million people like him, Nigeria would have been a better place for us. And I have to thank the organizing committee, the way they selected the pictures, showing that he's smiling. And that is Ogbonnaya Onu, always smiling. And just like the deputy speaker said, and the daughter mentioned that earlier, that the man thinks about the country more than his family. You hardly see this kind of characters. What I see in most Nigerians is that when you give them the smallest opportunity to serve, they want to get money for their great-grandchildren. And that makes them to do things supposed not to do. You hardly see selfless people who thinks about the country. In fact, when we listen to the video clips, when the wife mentioned about the husband, these are the people who we pray should have the opportunity to hold offices. I believe that even as a Minister of Science and Technology, he couldn't give us what he's supposed to give us because of the Nigerian factor. In fact, when this Minister of State then mentioned how the other Minister of Communication Technology was even arguing about, is this science, technology, and innovation or communication? That tells us where we are as a nation. Communication is a subset of technology, and there's no need for that kind of argument at all. But because of the Nigerian factor, somebody thinks that a name of a ministry will attract more money. So I must have that name. And these are some of the things that you appoint some people into some positions, they are unable to give us what we should get. We pray that God should provide more of Sir Dr. Christopher Ogbonnaya Onu for us. The wife, the children, let me personally convey again my condolences to the father, to the family. I thank you all.
Shall be abundantly satisfied. They shall be abundantly satisfied. They shall be abundantly satisfied with the fullness of thy house. How excellent, how excellent is thy loving kindness, is thy loving kindness, O
Following the heartfelt tributes in Abuja, the funeral procession moved south to Abia State, where Dr. Onu once served as the first civilian governor.